Welcome to the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Transport Briefing for Friday, May 10th. Over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we've seen precipitation mainly over the northern half of the Great Basin this last week, with drier conditions in the south and west portions of Nevada. And then over the last 2 weeks, similar with those drier conditions over western Nevada, but we have had some of that precipitation over a week ago further south into southern Utah and southern Nevada. Over the last 72 hours, we have seen some new snowfall over parts of central and eastern Idaho into Wyoming and northern Utah, and a few light showers over northeast Nevada. However, much of the heavier snowfall has been further north and east. Our snow depth is indicated on the right, and you can see from the snowpack for the time of year, we're still seeing above normal snowpack conditions across much of Nevada and Utah and even into southeast Idaho and northern Arizona. Still normal conditions or just below normal conditions over central Idaho. Looking at our weather pattern for later today, we still have low pressure dominating the Great Basin, so still some moisture trapped underneath that low over parts of Utah into southern Nevada for some light shower activity. Otherwise, dispersion will be good in most areas with some wraparound areas of wind in the north. And you can see from the transport winds over northern Nevada, northern Utah is where the winds are breeziest, with gusts generally in the 20s to around 30 miles per hour, with lighter winds elsewhere across the Great Basin and high mixing heights. Temperatures will continue to increase this week. We'll see highs in the 60s and 70s in most valleys, with highs near 80 degrees in the far south. Relative humidity will still stay elevated underneath this area of low pressure in most areas of the Great Basin, but around the periphery of the low in northern Arizona, southern and western Nevada is where we'll see those relative humidities drop below 15%. On Saturday, this area of low pressure continues to track to the east, but still keeping moisture over Utah. So we will see those lighter winds in Utah and breezier winds across much of Nevada, southern Idaho, and northern Utah for better dispersion. And those transport winds you can see are still breezy over parts of Nevada and Utah with gusts around 30 or 35 miles per hour. Otherwise, mixing heights remain high. Temperatures continue to rise on Saturday. We'll see highs in most valleys in the 70s and 80s, and the warmest temperatures in the far south in the mid-80s in southern Nevada. Relative humidity will start to decrease, with relative humidity dropping into the 20s across much of Idaho into the 10 to 15% range over western and southern Nevada, and still elevated near that area of low pressure in Utah. By Sunday, this low exits the Great Basin, but still a little wraparound moisture in eastern Utah, but otherwise drier conditions and good dispersion area-wide. We will see generally light winds or light to moderate winds across the Great Basin with high mixing heights. Temperatures continue to rise on Sunday, and again seeing many 80s in most of the valley locations or upper 70s, and now we will exceed 90 degrees over far southern areas of the Great Basin. Relative humidity will continue to drop with most areas in the 12 to 20% range. Some of the higher spots in Idaho and central Utah mountains, and Wyoming will be between about 20 and 25%. 3-day precipitation, you can see any showers will generally be light. We will have some of those heavier showers in the higher terrain of Utah, but otherwise light showers from eastern Nevada eastward. Going into Monday, we still have areas of low pressure tracking across the Great Basin, but they are fairly weak. The one Monday mainly tracks across the north, bringing some moisture to Idaho or northern Utah. And then on Tuesday, we see a little bit more of that moisture as that low tracks into the northern Rockies, so we do see probably some showers and thunderstorms over much of Utah, into southern or eastern Nevada, and into Wyoming and eastern Idaho. Still, some of the drier spots are western Nevada. Wednesday, similar picture. That low continues to track eastward, but keeping that moisture now over southern and eastern areas of the Great Basin for some showers and thunderstorms. And then on Thursday is where we start to see a stronger ridge really start to build across the west, which will likely last into next weekend, giving us much warmer temperatures going into next week and next weekend across the Great Basin with drier conditions. Precipitation for days 4 and 5 from Monday through Wednesday. Again, any showers will be fairly light and confined to the eastern half of the Great Basin. Could see a few thunderstorms over the central Sierra, so again, that precipitation is possible there. But for the most part, much of Nevada stays on the drier side. And then as we get into later next week is where we start to see that ridge build and really warmer and drier conditions region-wide. The 7-day total precipitation is shown here, so you can see, again, just those showers this week and then spotty showers going into next week. The 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us from May 17th through the 23rd, shows basically warmer and drier conditions heading into the latter part of the month. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back on Monday for the latest updates.